This probably should be a quick video. It's like 7:20 in the morning. I've just done a 7k. I feel pretty good. I guess I'm still kind of not great overall from last night, which was just insecurity. Mixology class, drinking like straight vermouth, rye whiskey, and then mixing with Angostura bitters. And I was like fasted, so I was tipsy, I was merry, and then spoke to a girl, flirted, and then went to bed and felt just like lonely and just shit. Struggled to sleep, woke up in the middle of the night, and then my alarm went off at 5:45, and then I felt pretty not great. I felt okay, but I just felt tired, like I could go back to sleep for an hour. Quite surprised that I managed to pull myself out of bed pretty quickly, and without much restraint, without much temptation to stay in bed. That was good. And then, I just went downstairs, meditated, did some journaling, and then here I am. It's a 1.5-minute intro. Wow, fuck me. I'm not going to be a YouTuber, am I? One of the things I want to talk about, which is a thought that came to me as I was just resting on this bench where you're currently sat, was how self-help is... What was the fucking train of thought I had? Self-help is only necessary, or only so prolific, is that the word? So it's been so well absorbed by society because our like deteriorating, let's call it degenerative, decadent society, the way people live and has caused, it's not been the effect of, but it's caused people's perspectives to be pretty fucked. So people do feel shit about themselves. People do believe that they need intimacy and a relationship to be happy. People do believe that they're worthless, that they need a shitty job because that's all they deserve. People's perspective on life is pretty skewed and pretty fucked. So this self-help shit is so, I guess, helpful, because it helps reframe people's perspectives about the world, but more importantly about themselves. Maybe a lot of it might be temporary, but I do think that there is definitely a lot of merit there, insofar as if you're applying the self-help stuff and you're present and yada 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 and seeing life as whatever and taking it by the horns and responsibility, stoicism, which is a lot of what self-help is, then you're gonna have a better outlook on life. But it says a lot that self-help is so prolific. It says a lot about society, a lot about the world in which we live. Do you get a load of Buddhist monks reading The Secret and A New Earth, Power of Now? No, they don't require those books. Their outlook is probably pretty solid. And the difficulty is that these perspectives that we have been conditioned from an early age. I need to start doing press-ups and stuff, don't I? Get solid. I need to get toned up. So these perspectives we have been conditioned from an early age, which means that when we're adults, we may read this stuff, The Secret and whatever, yet we're still probably pretty subconsciously affected by our childhood conditioning. So I can read all the philosophy I want and all the self-help stuff I have read, yet I can still have moments where these subconscious these insecurities bubble up from my subconscious and have a real effect on me. And I can look in retrospect and see how irrational that was. But that's just a result of as a consequence of my conditioning, how, what my thought perspective was like throughout all my childhood and pretty much all my adolescence. I can't just wipe the slate clean and pretend that that shit doesn't exist and it doesn't affect me, because it damn well does, and that's just a fact of my life, my personal life. So yeah, when you're rearing your kids, and I'm no parent or I have no right to advise on such, but I think that I'm going to try to imbue within them a sense of self-worth in some way I fathom, in some ways, however many ways I can. So yeah, that's about it. I think philosophy is it's a more profound, it's got more depth to it in terms of providing you an establishment for like ethics, probably most importantly, but also I guess self-worth. Existentialism is pretty damn empowering, and I think I would like to read more of that, almost to mitigate my insecurity, which pertains quite literally, I'd say, just to women. There's some self-worth issues. I don't think I'm that attractive physically. I can develop that, but I think that's a relative objective standpoint. I mean, what could I do with that? I mean, I could just not accept it, not feel insecure about it. I could still develop myself so I look better, which I am doing. And that's, primarily I believe it's for myself, but I know the insecurity with women is definitely going to have probably a pretty major effect, be a major motivator. But yeah, it's 7:30. I'm probably a bit less because this clock runs fast. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm going to go home, eat, program, read. I would like to meditate more each day. I'm only doing like 5 to 15 minutes in the morning after I wake. I think that should help me in terms of my mindset, my states of mind. It's not often that they dip like they did last night. That was mainly because of alcohol. So I think instead of saying, oh yeah, keep drinking but just try not to get insecure, it's more like just remove the cue. I think those insecurities will dissolve as I develop myself intellectually and continue just put myself into places where rejection is possible, and keep trying, which I am doing. That situation with that girl is awkward because a couple of weeks ago she rejected me, but now she's, I guess I'm a bit more flirty. I don't know if she really is. She laughs a lot, but I think that's just, she laughs a lot anyway. So yeah, I don't think there's much point in just hurt myself again. I could say, oh yeah, the rational thing is, you'll never see her again. She leaves on Friday, which is like 4 days away. So, why not? But then the effect of that rejection could play on my mind quite a bit and hurt me. So, I mean, I've tried once, and I think that's pretty damn good because, I think that's pretty good. Because my esteem wasn't great then. Or, I guess it's improved marginally. And I didn't see her as that attractive, but I guess I saw her more as like unattainable because she's like 5'11", and that on a girl would make, she looks like, damn, she's tall, and she's very mature, and there are 2 other guys who are older and probably more attractive than I am physically. One of them definitely is, but taller, older, more well travelled and stuff, have jobs or have had jobs. COVID kind of fucked them. So yeah, I'm not saying I'm unworthy or is impossible, but just I need to focus on me. I think I'd be doing that out of insecurity. I believe that feeling, I think it is an insecurity. If I feel that I would need intimacy, or I really want intimacy, and it hurts me when I don't get it or I get rejected, so it's like a direct, like, you're not getting it, that hurts, and thus I'd say that's an insecurity. So rather than trying to play on my insecurity, I think it's probably wiser just to focus all my attention on myself, which is common sense and it makes sense and yada yada yada. But when you're like one-on-one with her and it's like flirty and she's giggling and stuff, it's like it's at the front of your mind, you know. But I'll try to force myself to not, just for my own sake. Yeah, that's a video journal basically entry. That's what I'd like. That's exactly what I'd write about. I'd write something very similar to what I've just said in my journal. This is, yeah, pretty personal. Oh yeah, look at my t-shirt. Be the best you can. I mean, what the fuck? That was in like a big charity shop for $10. Quite expensive for the charity shop, but that is amazing. Right, goodbye. And now, what do I feel? I feel quite a bit of relief, I guess. I feel like I've written her off in my mind, so it's like, okay, I don't know, like, no longer have to have her taking up mental space. I mean, she probably will do, but then hopefully I can be conscious of that, and hopefully meditation helps me become aware of, you're thinking about that, this is unnecessary, this is futile, which is good. Hopefully if I just completely rule her out, then already, like, I can feel the sense of like, oh, well, if you do that, then it's going to be more attractive because you're going to not give a fuck, and then she's going to find you more attractive, and then there's a great possibility that you can get with her. So that's like the way a subconscious thought pattern goes. There's an old man singing with earphones on. Yeah, okay, interesting. Melbourne. Yeah, so if I rule her out, hopefully I will have those thoughts, but hopefully I can just mitigate them through seeing the irrationality in them, see how actually counterintuitive it is, because what I'm aiming for is to just focus on myself and not have mental headspace and mental energy spent on things such as that. Also, what I notice is after running, my fucking calves are like burning, like they are on, not fire, but I was limping a bit after I finished. It's like I'm alright now, but it's probably because I sat down and they seized up a bit, and then they were just like, fuck, no, I ain't moving, mate. So yeah, tis all, I think. Another thing to ask is, if I, had girls and business people who, in the future found my YouTube channel and had the ability to access all of this stuff, a lot of which is quite personal and talks about insecurity and my struggles and shit, and so I got hypothesizing, so I got really famous, and it was possible for people anyone to look at this shit and see all the personal shit I talk about. Would it be wise that I remove it all or put it all on hidden? Let's say before I become famous enough before anyone thinks to download it. I don't know. It might not be wise, because surely that detracts from authenticity, right? And it depends what my authenticity is. For me, it'd be a lot of transparency, and I think I'd hope I'd be self-confident enough just to say, oh yeah, well, this is me, this is how I was, this is my mindset, this is me being entirely open. You may judge me, but that's a reflection on yourself. I don't really care. You know, you could say that, oh, it's better if you do remove it all, because then you'd be materialistically better off, right? People would see you just as like this strong being, let's say, and they wouldn't have seen all the shit you've gone through and all the insecurity you've processed and whatever, you know. People might just react to that like, oh wow, he's fucking weak, instead of seeing you more as human and saying that, well, everyone has their insecurities, etc, etc. So it could fuck me over materialistically. Well then, who's to say that that's the most important thing? Oh yeah, you'd get less money, you'd get less girls, you'd get less fame or whatever. Okay, maybe, but is that important? Is that as important as that desire to be honest and transparent and vulnerable and whatever? I don't know. But I'd lean more toward that the spiritual side, what I'd call the spiritual side, is more personally important. Yeah, just an interesting thought, like, is materialism everything?